Hello, Cardstack community. This is Chris C., the founding director of the Cardstack Project, coming to you from the land of the Web3. Many community members have come to me and asked me, can you give me some analogy what Cardstack is like? Is it like MasterCard? Is it like Visa? Is it like PayPal? So it's been a very interesting idea to try to find analogies for Cardstack, the suite of product, the different protocols and frameworks and consumer-facing services, and say, how does that compare to the tools in the Web 2 era? So today I'm going to answer some of these questions, such as, is CardPay Stripe for Web3? Stripe is a very popular developer tool and now getting up more of a merchant tool where people can create a fintech connection so that you can accept credit cards and transfer money to bank accounts. But if you kind of extend to other things we have planned, like the dApp Builder card space, what is that for Web3? Does it compare to another no-code tool, or is it like a WordPress? What I'm trying to answer today is Cardstack, its constituents part, what is that for Web3? How can I see the analogy, not only for what we offer to users, but also what is the market opportunity that a well-coordinated, decentralized platform, protocol, and framework and developer ecosystem, maybe even end-user ecosystem, how would that allow us to grow? So I think hopefully I'll shed some light by breaking it down. So to get started, let's start with the thing that we are talking about most, which is CardPay, which is launching in Q2. Many of the work has already been converging smart contracts on testnet. So we are building prepaid cards, which is a type of balance you can spend on layer 2, and then having this idea of revenue and conversion rates and exchange link with our integration with Chainlink, and then it's also allow merchants to accept payment of different sorts. So it's fairly clear at this point, a little bit of spoiler, that CardPay is kind of like a Stripe. It's a API and SDK. We actually have a CardPay SDK where you can actually process payment and settle using a EVM, Ethereum Virtual Machine compatible blockchain. We're currently deploying to XI chain as the first chain, but we are looking at all the layer 2 network that's gaining traction, and we hope to deploy CardPay and the CardPay protocol family to that. But there are many other things going on around that. So obviously, CardSpace and CardCalc, we've talked about those things as roadmap. But there's also constituent parts I want to kind of dive in a little bit of the way we are building this protocol family that allows it to work together to enhance not only the capability to the end user, but also give you a sense of what its potential, the synergy would be to be able to build something that is truly full stack and cover many, many use cases. So let's go in and answer the question. What are these remaining mystery boxes? What are the best analogy for them, and use that as a way to have further discussion? Okay, so let's focus on this L-shaped thing, which is CardPay, CardBridge, and CardFlow, which is what we're shipping first. So this is actually bringing the crypto from the world of DeFi into this payment network. As you know, DeFi is powerful. People can create loans and create new vehicle like stablecoin, but it's expensive to transact. So we created something called CardBridge, which allows you to deposit and withdraw, and then we bring token this way, so you can have stablecoin onboarded to this much cheaper, much easier and faster, easier layer 2 network. And then when you earn something or you bought some NFT, then you can use the bridge to go the other way. So the card bridge is our ability for us to conduct exchanges with other blockchain, especially ones in Ethereum ecosystem. As a way to coordinate the bridge, the way to step by step to help token suppliers and card issuer navigate this, we created something called CardFlow. So CardFlow is something that comes from our design system, which allows us to sequence steps in a thread, allows you to take action. We track what action you're taking using milestone tasks. You can even remind yourself to take a task that maybe you didn't complete right away and you have to come back to it later. So this whole workflow system allows people in the business-to-business end, as in suppliers to this protocol, to be able to navigate the bridge and get to CardPay. Now, obviously, there's a flip side to this, which is with a payment system, what can you do? Once you have a payment system, then merchants can come and create SKUs, stock keeping units. So these are the product you're selling, the inventory, how many of this you have, what is the pricing? Do you price it in stablecoin, USD, or you price it on your own community token? And what kind of discount you might give to different people with different affiliation, membership, or maybe they own an NFT of yours, or they're paying with your community token. And that commerce capability drives the ability of the storefront. So this storefront can be constructed with our dApp builder. It's a web builder that supports the Web3 stack, which allows you to create different layouts and themes and have search engine and collection, and obviously is hosted as part of the regular web. So it is visitable when you share a link or QR code and such. So this U-shaped thing kind of connects the business-to-business aspects of Cardstack through CardPay as a common payment and value transfer mechanism to the storefront that consumers see. So most consumers don't have to worry about the bridge or workflow. They're just thinking about going to a place, seeing something they like, and they purchase it. But it goes deeper than that. Once a consumer has done a certain number of activity, they bought certain product, spent certain things, or liked certain posts, they want to be able to get closer and closer to the community that they're purchasing and participate economically with. And that's when they can go earn rewards and level up their membership. And this is certainly something we want to build for the Cardstack community, using the Card token as a community token to provide reward for people to spend money, create product, so that when you're doing this, you can kind of similar to liquidity mining, providing liquidity. If you spend money and you earn money, you get a reward from Card. But this is also the same mechanism can be extended to other networks that provides their own community, their own token, their own NFT. And it is a protocol that we're providing and a capability for data analytics, looking at what actions you take on chain, and then efficiently distribute it back on the blockchain so you can claim the rewards you've earned. Sometimes you have to pay the gas for it, but it's something that is much cheaper than a mainnet airdrop to 50,000 address. So that's something based on our Merkle payment pool research, and we're extending that to provide a reward administration program for not only ourselves, for the Card token program, but also for other communities and projects that want to distribute reward this way through our protocol. But as you can kind of see, once you can do this reward program, there's something really powerful going on. If we can tally, or we can count and measure what's going on these smart contract, this blockchain, couldn't you calculate how much people are spending, maybe aggregating up and identifying the top earners? Maybe this is the way we can provide staking programs that's quite sophisticated. You might even eliminate certain outliers, maybe duplicate accounts or Sybil attack. These are things that with modern machine learning and algorithm that's in the data field, so like big data, AI, machine learning, we can now and say, hey, you know what? We're not going to give reward to these addresses because they look like spam. So this is really about aligning both blockchain level kind of smart contract, which helps conduct transactions and you can buy things, but also using those data to inform these analytics, which we call the Tally protocol, named here and branded here called Card Tally. So that is also what we can do a voting system and a governance system on. One of the most exciting things you can do with this type of off-chain tally is do something in the financial industry they call underwriting. So when you have a lot of merchant getting paid and having these kind of continuous cash flow, stablecoin flow through this payment network, you can start offering something called merchant cash advance, which is that a person, an entity can purchase the future earning from a merchant in return for a lump sum payment. So it's like, hey, you're making like $500 a month. Here's $5,000, I'll buy your income for the next several months or years, and then I'll take 30% of it. So you still get 70% so you can pay your rent and your bills, but you have a lump sum payment and you go on vacation. And that's a very interesting thing that is only possible because of this that ability for the person who give the advance to basically capture or pre-purchase the invoices that will come in the future. Which merchant should we give it to really depends on the history of the merchant, where they have a relationship with them. Traditionally, the only people that can provide merchant cash advance are the credit card terminal companies. So the ones that you install a little swipe card in your store, and then that company that gives you that terminal can give you an advance. Stripe, as we mentioned as an analogy for CardPay, is actually offering a lot of SaaS companies some of these advances because they have some consistent SaaS revenue and they will get a little bit of an advance. But a lot of the times, those advances, those lump sum, comes at APR-wise a very high interest rate because the only company that can give you that advance is the company that you are using to process a credit card, which usually is pretty hard to switch. But within the protocol, with this kind of AI ML layer, we can then add this capability of merchant cash advances so that if there are unredeemed revenue in the pool, so let's say it's staked by the merchant, say, hey, I don't need that money now, let me keep it in the protocol, the card protocol, that can be loaned out to other merchant who needs the money now to go on vacation or to buy inventory. And that's all done by the protocol. It's competitive. So it's something that can be formed through governance of different people buying different invoices based on their risk profile from the tally system. Why do I spend so much time talking about this? Because this is the most DeFi part. And it really requires us to go beyond just doing all the logic on smart contract, but actually considering doing things in a combination of on-chain logic and off-chain analytics. And that combination of crypto and smart contract and transaction processing, analytic processing, I believe is the next frontier, what you can do, especially if we want to compete with the Web 2 providers, right? Because a lot of what makes Google, Facebook, Twitter, and even Shopify, these powerful, is that they have this data infrastructure so they can offer these kind of data-driven products. So in our sense, this card advancing is a really important part of being able to use the liquidity and use the float, use the money that's flowing through this payment network, right? Wide payment, because that's the engine for growth, to be able to do these kind of financial actions that allows people to do something. One of the most important thing, as you can see, there's a hole in the middle of this diagram, is that that's actually using Card Advance, how we can fund software. So as you know, Cardstack is a decentralized software ecosystem. It's not just about building a payment system so that people can pay each other. It's that by building a payment system and having our own kind of economy, like having a game that has its own V-Bucks or Roblox dollars or whatever it might be, you can now use that currency or that type of like community point system to incentivize new development. And one way to incentivize it is to give people a lump sum payment upfront and say, hey, go build me this software module for tracking customers for 5,000 USD, which is a decent project anywhere in the world. In a return, someone has purchased 20 to 50% of your revenue from the subscription or from this royalty you get for the next some number of months, maybe years, right? So this card advance capability that's driven using our tally system and model after our reward program is actually the way we'll fund using the community as that kind of guidance and the source of capital to a lot of the things that will grow this decentralized SaaS layer on the top. Now, the way we're going to do this is that the dev tools, so what we give to developers, are different SDKs that allows you to extend and integrate CardPay. So we have a CardPay SDK that will launch with the protocol so that you can connect your dApp to accept our type of payment and exchange rate that comes with the protocol. And obviously the reward program that comes with by paying that way, because we're monitoring spending to allow you to spend mind to get some reward based on what you spend. Card Catalog is our card SDK, something we've been working on many versions of it. In the current version, which is the one that is going to be high performance, highly flexible, is the Card Schema v3. That's coming out in Q4 with the Card Catalog, so that developer can submit and reuse other cards, and then they can also sell it. So this is the Card SDK. And then Tally itself, as we mentioned, we want new algorithms and new types of either automation or types of analytics to be submitted. And this is based on the Python ecosystem. And we're working on that now so that you can tap into the power of machine learning, GPUs. There's a lot of GPUs coming online, not being used once Ethereum moved from proof of work using GPUs to proof of stake. I would love to be able to offer miners the ability to do analytic mining and running these algorithms submitted by developers to do not only Card Advance, but many other type of off-chain, on-chain computation. So that's kind of roughly the protocol landscape, as well as how we address the business-to-business customers, how the consumer perceives like rewards and commerce and storefronts, and how that intersect with blockchain, machine learning, and obviously software as a service or SaaS. But let's have some fun with this. So this is your TikTok, tic-tac-toe, not TikTok, board of all the different slots you can put in. We already said that we know the stripes in the middle. Payment is core. It's how everything, the value transfer and the data from the spending helps us understand how to grow and reward people in the network. But what about card commerce, pricing and inventory? Well, That's kind of like Square. Square is a company that started helping people with a little mobile phone, little swipe card thing that you put on your audio jack and to take orders from a smartphone without needing a terminal. But to do that, you need to put in your product catalog, and that's what our card commerce protocol allows you to list your product. It could be NFT, but it could also be like an hour of your time or some actual physical real world inventory. And that allows you to settle and count inventory, much like you can do it in a register, cash register, and we do that using your Cardstack wallet as your mobile app and also a dashboard on the side. The cart space is like Shopify. This is how you can customize and create your own storefront. And that storefront can have more than just e-commerce product, and it can also have services and relationship and membership, some of that type of stuff. But this is how you can share a link and say, hey, if you want to join and buy it, this is where you're going to do it. So we are building cart space like a customizable Shopify where developer can extend. The card catalog, the ones that I think for me the most interesting is the card catalog is not just a way to throw some random apps like an app store. It's actually like Salesforce, which has a very unique way of thinking about apps. The apps in Salesforce, when you buy it as a business, you don't only get like an app to download on your phone, you actually add a feature to an existing dashboard that your customer, your user and your employees already using. So you can add a tab called timesheets or something like that. And then that timesheets tab is purchased from this catalog, but it's actually integrated with your permission system, your workflow, your email, your notification. And that's what we want Cardstack to be, which is our extensible system. It's not just a little like islands, they're actually integrated very well into a single cohesive experience, and we take a schema-driven approach, and I can give more updates on that in the later on about how we extend the schema to a composable model driven by a design system, so everything designed to work together and embedded with each other, and that's kind of similar to how Salesforce do it. So Card Catalog is kind of competing, or is the Web3 alternative to the Salesforce and their kind of multi-vendor app exchange system. Cardflow, also related to Salesforce. Salesforce bought Slack, but the way you've seen some of the prototype they put out there, which is also now being implemented in live testnet configuration, allows you to follow this multi-step process. And those processes are usually right now just between a wallet holder with a smart contract. But we've designed our Cardflow system so that you can actually be negotiating with another person. Like, let's say you're trying to find a deal, negotiate to buy an NFT or something like that. And when you come up with a final price, like, in a chat room, you can say, okay, we both confirm the buyer signs, the seller signs, and then get settled on chain. That's possible because that's what we designed it. So Cardflow is not just about you against a computer. It could be two players against each other, or it could be three players: the computer and a non-playable character, and you working together in a chat room using Cardflow as that container or that unit of thread to actually do that. I don't think you can do that with Slack, but this is a kind of a very nice Web3 way of connecting value transaction with collaboration. CardBridge is, this is more of an archaic one. It's like Swift, which is the way you do wire transfer internationally. So when we were looking at CardBridge, it was very clear that bridging token is really about signaling, hey, I have staked this token away into this lockbox on this chain. Please mint something on the other side. It's all about messaging between blockchain. So in that case, it's very similar to how Swift, which actually doesn't move money, it just moves messages between banks. So yeah, CardBridge is like Swift in a Web3 era. And Card Advance is like all the different fintech company who provide this data layer on top of the financial transaction and provide nice consumer services, whether it's mortgage, student loan consolidation. SoFi has a stadium in Los Angeles. So I picked them. And Tally is analytics, except it's not analytics for dashboards. It's actually something that can take information from on-chain, the activity of users, and then actually synthesize it, sometimes even with some data that is not public, but may exist in the hosting environment and adequately anonymous, and then provide feedback to the blockchain or to distribute rewards or to authorize certain types of on-chain activity. So this is like those data warehousing company that's gone public. One is really successful called Snowflake. They, I think, went IPO about in the last 2 years. So their analytics on the cloud, we're using that same type of infrastructure, but connected very tightly with this protocol-driven approach. And finally, Card reward. It's like airlines. It's like Airline Star Alliance, which is the airlines between United and Lufthansa, where if you earn reward in one airline, you get cross-honor this reward in that level and lounge access another one. And that's the power of the blockchain. Like, you can have DAOs or different type of communities say, hey, I'm going to honor your membership level gold with our membership level as long as you cross-honor us. And that allows people who earn status and rewards and membership level within the Cardstack ecosystem, and we're providing this visualization of your membership level like a little glossy card in your mobile wallet, and you can get more access to maybe communities or new products or discounts in the commerce and be recognized as I recognize you as a gold member because you came from the other things. And that's really powerful to build these alliances, not just individual DAO, but a cross-honoring thing. And that's very similar to airline alliances. So that's a lot of logos, and more importantly, a lot of market cap that is, obviously doing very well in as a business and also serving a lot of customers, and they're very happy with it. And we believe that with our approach and with the blockchain and Web3 tailwind and capability behind it, we can build a very integrated user experience, actually touch on maybe not all of it, but some of the most important parts of the value or what's offered by this thing. But notice something, if you look a little deeper, all of these starts with S's, so just a little curious thing. The way you look at this from a user experience point of view is not that there's 9 different apps, 3x3 matrix. It's that there's only 2 experiences the user needs to learn. One is the Cardstack app on desktop and mobile. The other is the wallet. Your identity, your value, your tokens, your NFTs are on your wallet. We don't have access to it. It's in your possession. It's called a self-hosted wallet in the regulatory sense. We'll make it easier for you to recover it. You can back it up to your iCloud, so it's going to be very easy to make sure that you don't ever lose it. But the idea here is that all those actions and the workflow and the spaces and the payments are really surrounding these 2 spheres of user experience, right? So what we are launching first is allowing you to use the desktop app to connect your wallet and then go through a workflow to bridge the token, and then sign it, and then pay a merchant, have them see it on their dashboard, their space, and then they can earn the money and click a button to conduct the workflow to bridge the money out and say, hey, I've earned $5,000 in the last 5 days, and here's some DAIs that I've earned on mainnet, even though all the wallet transaction is on the layer 2 chain. So this type of orchestration, this type of map, is how we can make these very complicated things that used to be totally different brand names and logo and logins into one cohesive experience around the idea of a dApp, which is the Cardstack app, and the Card Wallet, which is a companion second factor for authentication, for biometric, for signing statements, for proving things in some cases, because we actually implemented Gnosis Safe, a multi-sig wallet underneath our entire system. You can have 2 people that you trust, and you and another person. Both have to sign before a withdrawal can happen from a merchant account based on the store that you own together. But that's the exciting part about Cardstack. We're building on top of so much of the infrastructure that I think people who plays with DeFi and MetaMask have maybe touched upon. Hey, have you used Gnosis Safe to store your ETH or something? And some people say yes, and most people said no. But those infrastructure are now solid and able to be extended to real-world use cases that compete, if bundled correctly, with the Web 2 counterpart. And that's what Cardstack is doing and is able to do. And we're going to launch Card Pay first in Q2, and then a lot of the work has already been done, and we're just polishing up to make sure that the experience across those bouncing of those within those circles are nice and smooth. And then we'll work to move to the B2C, the business to consumer, the storefront with Card Pay, leading up to the developer ecosystem so it can be extended in the card catalog. I just want to take some time to kind of share with you these analogy, and I'll have a link below on a tweet that you can share, that Cardstack is going after these S's, these software as a service, many S's. And I believe that our Web3 approach is sound, it's ready, it's able, I think, to take market share by way of a great mobile app, a great wallet that's based on the Rainbow wallet, which some people use for NFT, but it's actually an all-around great way. We're using the open source code base to derive the types of infrastructure so that we can build the card experience on top of a very mature Web3 wallet in your pocket. iOS first, Android quickly to follow. And then the web app itself, the actual app.cardstack.com, which is where the URL, it's a cohesive place you can log in, and then you get all these different tools. No need to remember 9 different URL for the 3x3 grid. And this is where you can get not only what we have today, but what developers of our Cardstack ecosystem can bring on. So thank you very much for your time today. Hopefully this analogy and this description from more of a market point of view helps you understand what our ambitions are and what we're working towards. Until next time, we'll chat again. Thanks.